Hello and welcome to another video from Between the Ropes TV. Today we're going to be talking about the DAZN card on March the 5th, headlined by Roman Gonzalez against Julio Cesar Martinez. This is going to be a 12-round battle down at super flyweight. What a fight this is going to be. Roman Gonzalez, he's had a terrific resume, terrific fighter. 2 battles with Estrada. He's had a great win against Israel Gonzalez. He had a terrific stoppage win against Kalyafai when he stopped him in the 9th round. He's also had 2 tough defeats against Saul Rengvasai. He's up against Julio Cesar Martinez. I think this is a terrific fight because you've got a brilliant inside, really skilled boxer against a terrific, aggressive come-forward puncher. You know, we've seen Martinez on these shows before when he had the no contest against Charlie Edwards. Yes, it was a no contest, but in my opinion, he was all over Charlie Edwards like a rash. He completely battered him. He had success against Andrew Selby over in Mexico. He stopped him in the 5th round. He also beat Jay Harris, our very own Jay Harris. He was unbeaten going into that fight. He beat him on a unanimous decision. We know Julio Cesar Martinez can bring fireworks. Look, he was a WBC reigning champion at flyweight, so he's stepping up for this fight. But he's stepping up against a veteran. Yeah, we can say Gonzalez is... He lost his last fight against Estrada, but that fight was a magnificent fight. For me, it was fight of the year for last year. And in my opinion, it all depends on what Gonzalez has got left. And I still think he has got a lot left. He's getting on, he's 34. That's it's not too old, but in the lower weight classes, you really feel it. And that age can make a bit of a difference. But I think if Gonzalez fights a smart fight, it'll be too much for Martinez. You could see Martinez throwing shots at thin air in this particular fight. So it's a really interesting fight. There's some other big fights on the card. You've got Mauricio Lara. He's 23-2 with 16 knockouts. He's up against Emilio Sanchez, 19-1 with 12 knockouts. Mauricio Lara is well known to everybody on these shows because he had the 2 fights with Josh Warrington. Although the second fight, he didn't get to finish that fight. We know Mauricio Lara, he's a bit of an unknown. He's had his 2 defeats, but he gave Josh Warrington hell in that first fight. And in the second fight, in my opinion, it ended too early. But he started to show some real signs of getting on top. Emilio Sanchez is a difficult one because not much is known about him either. Yeah, he's had 19 wins, but you could argue the caliber of those opponents haven't been of the best. And you could also say that about Mauricio Lara. But if Mauricio Lara's got anything to show, as he did in the first fight against Josh Warrington, it'd be too much for Emilio Sanchez. But the interesting thing for me with Lara is how well he can come through this particular fight, because there's some big fights lined up for him. If you think about it, should Kiko Martinez lose to Josh Warrington, he could be put up against Kiko Martinez. There's also the Jazza Dickens fight. Kieran, we had Jordan Gill looking there. He got that impressive knockout at the weekend, so that could be an interesting fight down the line as well. Also on the card, you've got former Olympian Suleiman Sissoko, 14-0 with 9 knockouts, against Roberto Valenzuela Jr. He's got a record of 19-2. Suleiman Sissoko is a bit of an interesting character. For me, as well as being a former Olympian, he's got a real decorated amateur career. He's pretty much, he's done it all. My issue with him is his fight against Kieran Conway. He got dropped in that fight, but he's still a comfortable winner. I know it was a split decision, but on my card, he was still quite comfortable. But he only seems to be showing 60% of what he can do. I expect him to come through this fight. And again, I think there's some interesting fights back at like middleweight he can be having. But I think it's going to be one of those fights where we should see what he's got. We should see him bring his skill set and be comfortable in this fight. I'm interested in this card because there's a lot of prospects on the card. You've got Diego Pacheco, 13-0 with 10 knockouts at super middleweight. He's young, he's only 20 years old, he's 6'4", but he can bang hard with both hands. He hits from all sorts of awkward angles. He's a bit like a young, but even more aggressive David Benavidez. I'm quite excited about this guy, as you can tell. His opponent has got a record of 9-3. Genk Pelanya, yeah, he's from Bosnia. I expect Diego to look absolutely incredible in this fight. I really do. I expect him to blow this guy away. There's a lot of hype around Diego Pacheco, and I don't expect that hype train to come off this weekend. He's not going to be in tough, difficult fights for a while. I think they're going to be building him up slowly, but I think he is well matched, and he is going to be looking explosive in this fight. But he has got a lot of talent, and I could see why they want to build him up slowly, because this guy's got all the makings to be a future star. Also on the card, you've got Mark Castro, 5-0 prospect. He stopped all the opponents he's been in with. He's campaigning around super featherweight. Again, decorated amateur career from America. We've got high hopes for him. And also, it's going to be the debut of Sky Nicholson. Those of you that watch DAZN will know Sky Nicholson was a pundit on the DAZN card last month. But Sky, again, former Olympian. She's going to be campaigning anywhere between featherweight and lightweight. She's got a real interesting career. She's still going to be interesting enough, as well as turning professional. She's still maintaining that amateur status because she wants to go to the next Olympics over in Paris. It's going to be interesting to see what she does. Is she going to be fast tracked? Is she just going to at a steady pace, not to distract her from her amateur career? Who knows? It's going to be really, really exciting. It's a great card to look forward to. So, it's definitely one to keep your eye out. Don't forget to like, subscribe onto the channel, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care.